today we are going to be teaching you how to do a motor performance with someone with Parkinson's disease. Wendy is going to play the role of the patient. She has early stage Parkinson's disease and is beginning to develop a tremor in her hand and a loss of coordination and balance and standing tolerance as she walks. So today we're going to be teaching the IADL of washing dishes. But to do that, we're going to teach a preparatory activity to increase Wendy's standing tolerance and balance in order to complete this IADL. So today our preparatory activity is going to be hitting a balloon back and forth while standing. So to begin, we have a gait belt on Wendy. Her calves are pressed against the couch behind her, and we've placed 2 pillows on top of it so that when she sits down, the pillows are right there, so she has far less distance to sit. She is going to be min assist. So in this situation, there would be another therapist or a family member or someone standing behind her, ready to hold the gait belt if needed. But right now, we're just going to demonstrate just the 2 of us. So I'm going to play the role of a therapist, and Wendy's going to be the patient. And we are going to hit the ball back and forth. Wendy, you're going to use your opposite arm to cross over your midline to hit the balloon back and forth. This will increase her standing tolerance and her balance as she is going away from her center of gravity to hit the ball for reaching, which is also involved in washing dishes. So Wendy, at any time if you feel fatigued or dizzy or you need to sit down, just let us know and we'll let you sit down and on the pillows behind you. They're right behind you for safety. Wendy also has tennis shoes on right now, which gives her good grip on the floor as well. So to begin this activity, Wendy's going to stand up and we're going to hit the balloon back and forth to each other. Wendy, I want you to cross your midline and hit with your opposite arm to hit the balloon back. And again, anytime you feel unstable, go ahead and sit down behind you, okay? So this is helping with her reaching, which will be involved in washing the dishes, also her standing tolerance and balance. Just crossing the midline, which will be, that's a good one, which will be used in many tasks, not only in washing dishes. So this activity can be graded to make it more difficult by throwing the ball up, making her reach farther over to the side, further over to the other side, to make it more difficult, depending on her ability. And then at the end of the activity, Wendy, go ahead and sit down. We're going to hold the gait belt behind her, ease her to the ground, or to the chair. And now we're going to show you how to complete the IADL of washing dishes and how these skills can be used in that IADL. As you can see, we've moved into the kitchen by the sink, and today we're going to be showing how to complete the IADL of washing a plate, a cup, and a fork. So Wendy is playing the role of the patient, and I'm going to be the clinician, aiding Wendy in completing this IADL. Again, those preparatory activities that we just did will help aid in her standing tolerance and balance and coordination required to complete this IADL. As you can see, Wendy still has her trusty gait belt on, and she has a stool placed behind her, so if any time during the activity she needs to sit down, she is able to do so. We have placed a washcloth in the bottom of the sink to aid in placing the dish on the bottom of the sink so that it doesn't chip the dish if she's having a tremor and could hit the bottom of the sink to chip it. So that is to aid and help protecting the dish. So at this time, I'm going to instruct Wendy on how to complete this activity safely and aid her in completing this IADL with her Parkinson's tremor. So first, Wendy, what I want you to do is go ahead and turn on the water. So go ahead and reach. And Wendy's using her hand right here to help stabilize her body. And again, I'm right here holding the gait belt in case she needs to sit down. So Wendy, at first I want you to pick up the plate from the countertop. Go ahead and set it on the bottom of the sink. So see how that washcloth helped, so that with her tremor, the washcloth was, or the plate was placed on the bottom of the sink safely. Next, I want you to reach over and grab the soap. Perfect. Open the cap and squirt some of that soap right onto that plate. Beautiful. And then go ahead and set your soap aside. Go ahead and grab the brush. So we have a long brush using here, so go ahead and move it around, wash that dish off. She's doing a very good job of stabilizing her hand. This brush gives a little bit more control, so she doesn't have to reach as far over into the sink. It gives her a little bit more reaching capability. Once that dish is all cleaned, go ahead and set your brush aside and lift up the dish and rinse it off in the water. After the dish is rinsed off, she will place the dish on the drying rack next to her. Next, we will wash the fork. She's going to pick up the fork, and again, at any time if you feel the need to sit down, that stool is right behind you. So Wendy is going to hold the fork in her hand and squeeze some soap onto the fork. Okay. And Wendy can use her hand to rub the fork. Use this hand to clean it. So you can see how this preparatory activity is helping with her balance, because she is reaching across her body to perform this activity. Again, she's leaning against the sink for stabilization as needed. And once it's rinsed off, you can go ahead and set that right up on the drying rack as well. Good job. And then now, last but not least, we're going to wash the cup. So Wendy, go ahead and grab the cup. Beautiful. All right, go ahead and set the cup right on the bottom of the sink. All right, and squeeze some soap right into the cup. Good job. All right, go ahead and set the soap to the side and get some of that water in there. And then as needed, you can put the brush or your hand into the cup to wash that soap around. So see how she's using the bottom of the sink to help stabilize the dish so that she doesn't need to hold it completely in the air with that hand trimmer. All right, once it's all washed off, she's going to go ahead and pick up the dish and rinse it out. Beautiful. And once it's rinsed, go ahead and set it on the drying rack. And go ahead and reach over and turn the water off. Once the water's turned off, we're going to go ahead and sit on the stool behind you using the gait belt. Again, you can see how the preparatory activity of bouncing the balloon back and forth helped aid in her standing tolerance needed to complete this activity, along with her balance, as she did reach across her midline multiple times during this activity to complete the activity of washing dishes.